Okay, in this video, we're going to take a look at how to design a bathroom in Revit. We're using Building Construction Illustrated Chapter 9 to show us some layout options. And if we scroll down a little bit at 9.27, it shows the code for spacing. So example, like here, they're dimensioning the center of the toilet to a wall or to the edge of another fixture. Same thing with the sink and the bathtub. So it's important to notice what they're referencing on the object. So for the sink, once again, they reference the center to a wall, but then they also reference the edge to the other edge of another fixture. And then it defines fixtures right here. Okay, so it'll actually tell you what constitutes a fixture. So for example, water closets, which would be like a toilet, urinals, bidets, lavatories, bathtubs, utility sinks, showers, basically anything you would think is a fixture is defined as a fixture in a bathroom. All right, so going through, we're going to be cycling back and forth between that document and Revit as we go and design this bathroom. In the previous video that I put out, I showed how to do a bedroom. So here what we're going to do is we're going to modify this interior wall. So I'm going to click on this interior wall. We're going to turn this into a 2x6 wall. So we're going to say edit type. And then under the structure, first we're going to duplicate because we don't want to override this. So we're going to say duplicate. Let's rename this 2x6 interior wall. And we're going to say interior plumbing wall. Be a little more descriptive. This will basically tell us, since we're saying interior, it means that there's going to be drywall on either side of that stud. Drywall would not be good for an exterior application. And then 2x6 is going to define the framing that's sandwiched in between that drywall. So we're going to say okay on that. So far we've only duplicated and renamed this. We haven't changed anything about it. So let's do that real quick. In structure, we go to edit. And once inside edit, the only thing we have to change here is change this to a 5.5-inch stud. And to show the preview on this, this is a top view of the wall. So these are the layers of the wall, the drywall, the core, stud, and then the drywall on the inside. And so when I change this to 5.5, you'll see that this is going to update over on the side here, and it becomes a wider wall, right? A thicker wall. Let me say okay. And okay. All right, so I want to change this one back to the interior wall. But then over here, what I can do is I can start to draw out the bathroom. So I'm going to click on wall, and I'm going to use the interior walls for right now, the 2x4s. And I'm going to go and lay out a bathroom. And this bathroom, we're going to try not to make it excessively big. I'm going to make it about 9 feet, and then I'm going to drop down and make it about 5 feet. And notice right now I'm drawing from finished face interior. And if I draw clockwise in Revit, it's going to define like where I'm clicking as the inside of the wall. If I draw counterclockwise in Revit, essentially Revit thinks I'm drawing the walls like backwards. So I'm going to draw 5 foot, and notice like as I'm clicking, right, I have interior defined, so that's why it's the inside edge of the wall that I'm referencing. If I drew counterclockwise, I'd be drawing the inside of the wall towards the outside of my envelope that I'm creating here. If you end up drawing your walls like inside out, you can just hit spacebar and it flips them, right? So if you click on the wall, you can hit spacebar and it flip-flops them around. And if you wanted to really double check those dimensions, click on a wall. Remember, whatever's highlighted in blue is the thing that's moving. Okay, and I can lock in that dimension. And then once I click on that dimension, I could literally lock it in place to constrain it. Once again, if I want to affect left to right, I click on one of these walls that I can move left to right. So once again, that wall that's blue, I can't change its length, but I can change where it is. And so 9 feet, okay, I like that dimension. Once I lock it in, I can't edit that dimension unless I delete it and click on the wall again. And then I lock it. So I have a 9x5 basically enclosure right now. I want to define one of these walls as a plumbing wall. So I'm going to click on this wall here. And this is where all my drain pipes are going to be. So I'm going to make that a 2x6 interior wall. And this is the thicker wall. When I'm inside the bathroom, I can't tell that any of these walls are thicker because all I see is drywall. But this is the wall I'm going to attach like all my plumbing to. It's cheaper if you have one plumbing wall. If I had 2 bathrooms, if I put them like back to back, that would also make it cheaper if they shared the same plumbing wall. You can have more than one plumbing wall in a bathroom. It just becomes more expensive. Plumbers charge around $200 to $300 an hour. So you pay a lot for their labor. So in the design, that's where you can save a lot of money. So we want to throw in some items now. So basically the bathroom is going to be, there's going to be a door. And the door that I have, we can do a single flush door. 80 inches tall is typical for residential. 30 inches wide is generous. 32 is good for a bathroom as well. I have one at home that's 27. So if I click on a door and I want to edit this door, it's like the same with anything else in Revit. I have the item that I want to kind of base my design around. I say edit type. And then what I can do is say duplicate, and I can change this to a 27. And once again, we're just changing the name of it right now. We didn't actually change the properties of it. So 27 by 80, say okay. 27 is the width. Then I go down to the dimensions here. And now that I've already made the duplicate of it, I can change the width to 27 inches. If I don't want to do the math, it's 2 foot 3 inches. But if I don't want to do the math, I can just type in 27. And then if I click out of there, it automatically updates that to feet and inches. And then I can say okay. All right, now I have the option for a 27 door, custom made. Once again, when you put that door in, make sure it swings into the bathroom. And then also make sure it swings against the wall, but not into the wall or right up against the wall, right? Leave room for a door handle. If your door swung this way, you get this hallway effect as you walk in. It becomes like cumbersome and in the way, especially if you have a sink here. When you're standing at the sink, you want to open the door, you have to kind of like stand around and then take a step back. So it's not really good to have your door swing into the room like that. It should swing up against a wall, preferably. Okay, now we have to insert a cabinet, a sink, a toilet, a tub, or a shower. So we're going to go into the insert family, load family, and we want to go down and we have to find this stuff. Some of this stuff's under plumbing. So we're going to go into plumbing, architectural, and then we have fixtures. And so water closets, urinals, sinks, showers, drinking fountains, bathtubs, and drains. So let's load in a bathtub. And there's 2D tubs, which will show well in these plans, but they won't show in your 3D model. You might as well just load in a 3D tub. And I'm going to choose one that is hosted by a wall, which means you can't place this tub off of a wall. So I'm going to say, all right, that's what I want, this tub. So I'm going to say, all right, we're going to place that tub in. And notice it doesn't pop up near my mouse. What I have to do is scroll down under families. I have to go down and find plumbing. So where is that? And this is kind of like the bad part of Revit. It takes forever to find everything. Plumbing over here in the project browser, expand tub. Once I find tub expanded, I can't expand it any further. That means I can then drag it in. And now that it's dragged in, it tells me, hey, you can't place it unless you're bumped up to a wall. Okay, 5 feet is the standard, so I'm going to click on that. Now, if I want, I can move this tub over after placing it with the arrows. I want the drain right here to be up against the plumbing wall. That's positioned correctly. Tubs have the rounded back on the back side of it, right? And that's like where you could like lay into, and that kind of like cradles your body there. And then the drain we want up against the plumbing wall, okay? Then from here, we also can insert some other families. So load family, it's already kind of in plumbing. I can say, all right, drop down. Let's just go back a step to fixtures. Let's throw in a toilet real quick. Once again, we have 3D models and 2D models. 3D will show up in both 2D and 3D, so why not? There's commercial grade ones, which we don't really need to use for this. We're going to use a domestic, like residential one. 3D, say open. And now we're going to load that in. Same thing. Under plumbing fixtures, we're going to drag that in. And we're going to place that. And we don't want to like place it like right up against the wall. We want to give it a little bit of room to breathe. And we can nudge that later. Now when I go to place this, we look at building construction illustrated. We can see that from a bathtub, there needs to be 8 inches, but a 2-inch minimum to a fixture, right? So I have to have at least 2 inches to a toilet. And then it says the toilet from the center to the next fixture, 12 inches minimum. So we have to go with the larger number here. So we're going to say 12 inches. So I'm going to go over to Revit again, and we're going to make sure that this thing is not 12 inches from the edge. So I'm going to drag my dimension over here. It's already center. It's at 1'5". We could make it the minimum right now. That's 12 inches center. It looks rather close. So we could say, you know what, let's just make that a nice even 18 inches, lock in that dimension, click out of it, whoop, and then click on that. We can drag that up a little bit just to kind of give it some breathing room. Let's see if I can move it. There we go. We're going to want to move that up a little bit too. And let's lock this in so it doesn't move on us. All right, so we've dimensioned that. Now we show that we have paid attention to code. and that we've locked this into a reasonable position.